Residential resale real estate purchase contract, page 3. Title and escrow, 3A, line 91. Escrow. This contract shall be used as escrow instructions. The escrow company employed by the parties to carry out the terms of this contract shall be escrow title company, address, city, state, zip, email, phone, fax. 3B 96. Title and vesting. Buyer will take title as determined before close of escrow. Taking title may have significant legal, estate planning, and tax consequences. Buyer should obtain legal and tax advice. 3C, line 98. Title commitment and title insurance. Escrow company is hereby instructed to obtain and deliver to buyer and seller directly addressed pursuant to 8T and 9C or as otherwise provided a commitment for title insurance together with complete and legible copies of all documents that will remain as exceptions to buyer's policy of title insurance, title commitment, including but not limited to conditions, covenants, and restrictions, CC&Rs, deed restrictions, and easements. Buyer shall have 5 days after receipt of the title commitment and after receipt of notice of any subsequent exceptions to provide notice to seller of any items disapproved. Seller shall convey title by warranty deed, subject to existing taxes, assessments, covenants, conditions, restrictions, rights of way, easements, and all other matters of record. Buyer shall provide at seller's expense an American Land Title Association ALTA homeowners title insurance policy, or, if not available, an ALTA residential title insurance policy. Plain language 1 through 4 units, or, if not available, a standard owner's title insurance policy showing title vested in buyer. Buyer may acquire extended coverage at buyer's own additional expense. If applicable, buyer shall pay the costs of obtaining the ALTA lender title insurance policy. Additional instructions. Escrow company shall promptly furnish notice of pending sale that contains the name and address of the buyer to any homeowners association in which the premises is located. If the escrow company is also acting as the title agency but is not the title insurer, issuing the title insurance policy, escrow company shall deliver to the buyer and seller upon deposit of funds a closing protection letter from the title insurer indemnifying the buyer and seller for any losses due to fraudulent acts or breach of escrow instructions by the escrow company. all documents necessary to close this transaction shall be executed promptly by seller and buyer in the standard form used by escrow company. Escrow company shall modify such documents to the extent necessary to be consistent with this contract. Escrow company fees, unless otherwise stated herein, shall be allocated equally between seller and buyer. Escrow company shall send to all parties a broker's copies of all notices and communications directed to seller, buyer, and brokers. Escrow company shall provide brokers access to escrowed materials and information regarding the escrow. If an affidavit of disclosure is provided, escrow company shall record the affidavit at close of escrow. Tax prorations. Real estate property taxes payable by the seller shall be prorated to close of escrow based upon the latest tax information available. Release of earnest money. In the event of a dispute between buyer and seller regarding any earnest money deposited with escrow company, buyer and seller authorize escrow company to release earnest money pursuant to the terms and conditions of this contract in its sole and absolute discretion. Buyer and seller agree to hold harmless and indemnify escrow company against any claim, action, or lawsuit of any kind and from any loss, judgment, or expense, including costs and attorney fees arising from or relating in any way to the release of earnest money. Prorations of assessments and fees. All assessments and fees that are not a lien as of the close of escrow, including homeowners association fees, rents, irrigation fees, and, if assumable, insurance premiums, interest on assessments, interest on encumbrances, and service contracts shall be prorated as of close of escrow or other. Check the box. Assessment liens. The amount of any assessment other than homeowners association assessments that is a lien as of the close of escrow shall be paid in full by seller, prorated and assumed by buyer. Check the box that applies. Any assessment that becomes a lien after close of escrow is the buyer's responsibility. IRS and FIRPTA reporting. Seller agrees to comply with IRS reporting requirements. If applicable, seller agrees to complete, sign, and deliver to escrow company a certificate indicating whether seller is a foreign person or a non-resident alien pursuant to the Foreign Investment in Real Property Tax Act, FIRPTA. Buyer and seller acknowledge that if the seller is a foreign person, the buyer must withhold a tax equal to 10% of the purchase price unless an exemption applies. Seller's initials, buyer's initials.